Happy St. Patrick's Day. Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel coming at you. Tennessee knows where they're going. They know their seed at this point. They are a 2 seed. They are going to Charlotte on Thursday to play St. Peter's in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Beyond that, we don't know, but there's some interesting potential matchups on the horizon for that. Thank you guys for tuning in with me. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to this thing. I appreciate any sharing that you do on it. But let's get right into this thing. We can sit here and debate this seed all we want. There's some other teams that probably have bigger beefs than Tennessee does, but the committee's fickle. Let's make no bones about it. The committee is fickle. They reward North Carolina for a couple wins in the NCAA tournament. They penalize Tennessee and Arizona for their losses. Yet, Auburn, who, if you look at a lot of the metrics, Ken Pom, NCAA net rankings and stuff, rank top 5. They win the SEC tournament. They're a number 4 seed with the number 1 seed. How does that make sense? If I'm Connecticut, I'm not happy. I have a 4 seed there that could easily put me out of this tournament on it. If I'm Auburn, I'm not happy. I'm going in with the chip on my shoulder. Obviously, this is a Tennessee show. That is the biggest thing that stood out to me in this tournament because I thought Auburn made a valid case to be a number 2 seed in this thing. If not, worst case 3, they're a 4 seed with the overall number 1. You can't sit here and tell. That's a couple times recently that supposedly these conference tournaments matter, and they don't. Tennessee won it 2 years ago. They didn't go up a single bit on their seed line. Auburn wins it today. Auburn's worst case a 3 seed. I don't care what you say on it. And proved again, these conference tournaments don't matter. Florida makes a run to the championship. I know they lost one of their big guys today, but they've been playing great basketball late. They're a 7 seed. This committee did not respect the SEC and what they've done this year. Kentucky a 3, Alabama a 4, South Carolina a 6, Mississippi State, Texas A&M both in their I can't even talk those 8-9 games. This committee did not respect the SEC. They respected the Big 12. They respected the ACC. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. The SEC was the best basketball conference in America. The Big 10 got respect. It's obvious that Illinois, Wisconsin got respect for being in the conference the finals of their tournament, but the SEC didn't. I still think there's a case that Tennessee should have been a number 1 seed in this. Had North Carolina won the ACC tournament, I wouldn't have had a problem with it. But they lost to the 10 seed in the conference in NC State. That negates what they've done the whole week. They didn't beat anybody of significance. So does Tennessee have a beef? Yes, they absolutely do. I think they were ahead of Arizona coming in. I think Tennessee and Arizona both probably have beefs with North Carolina being ahead of them. But, the problem with it, too, is Arizona and North Carolina, their brackets, to me, and it may prove out different, they're not strong brackets. They're just not. I'm going to share my screen here, or attempt to anyway, so let's see what we got. Let me pull up the bracket. Here we go. All right, so I'm looking at, just comparing the bracket. I'm going to look at Tennessee's bracket first of all here. Let's see if I can kind of get that pull. So Tennessee has St. Peter's. Let's get into Tennessee's matchup, and I'll go about the rest here. Tennessee plays St. Peter's on Thursday in Charlotte, and obviously, Kentucky found out last year you cannot take St. Peter's lightly. If Tennessee gets past that, they've got either Texas or the winner of Virginia and Colorado State. Pretty fascinating. You've got a chance to see Tennessee and Texas in the second round. Looking up here, and I've already heard the CBS guys, they said, well, Creighton plays a style of play. They can beat Tennessee. So Creighton apparently plays that slow down type of basketball that gives Tennessee trouble. So you've got to be able to compensate for that style. How does Tennessee react to it if they get to that matchup? Looking on the other side, you've got South Carolina, who's given Tennessee trouble this year. You've got Oregon, who got hot, won the Pac-12 conference tournament. I think it's a pretty good draw, honestly. but there's a couple teams that could give Tennessee some issues in this tournament. So, and the funny thing about it too, there's a lot of familiar matchups for Tennessee this year. You look in the top half, you got Purdue as the 1, Kansas as the 4. Some of them's already picking McNeese and Samford to move past Gonzaga and Kansas. Apparently, Hunter Dickinson, who's been in college for 15 years now, is going to be out for that game. And the sad thing about it, that guy supposedly has another year of eligibility left. Just lead, man. Just go. I said a couple years ago when Michigan beat them, we let an oaf beat us. He's still doing his things. He's okay. He's not that great. He gets by with his size, same as Zach Edey does on it. Neither one of them are great. Dickinson can shoot outside. I will give him that. He gave Tennessee trouble when they played out Maui earlier in the year. But I desperately want Tennessee to get it up here and play Purdue again. Tennessee owes Purdue. Tennessee freaking owes Purdue. Going back to the tournament with Grant and Schofield and those guys back in 2019, football, the Music City Bowl, earlier this year in Maui, Tennessee owes Purdue. You know what you're going to get when you face Zach Edey. You know what's going to happen. They're going to allow him to muscle his way around, a bully's way around because he's bigger than other teams. Now, obviously, you've got to win a few games before you have to worry about that. I like the draw for Tennessee. I think they're as long as they're hitting their shots. Now, what Tennessee needs is Dalton Knecht to be himself. You need Ziegler to play controlled. You need Adu to do his thing. Got to have something out of those fifth-year seniors. I really and truly hope, and it boils down to it, guys, that if or when Tennessee goes out early, and it's a possibility, we know it is, I hope in that game that Vescovi and James have great games. I really do. I don't want it to be where we can put the blame on them. I really don't, man. They've given a lot for this program. They've done a lot for it. I really want those guys. I don't want it to be able to pinpoint them and say, well, they combined for 2 points or 4 points. It is. I'm hoping it's a game. Maybe they both combine for the 20s and do their job. That way, if fingers are always going to be pointed in a loss. If Tennessee does have a loss, I'm hoping it's able to point somewhere else with them. Some guys that are able to come back and get retribution next year. But, Tennessee, St. Peter's, Thursday in Charlotte. We don't know the time as of yet. They win that one, they'll get the winner of Texas and or Virginia or Colorado State. This is another thing that doesn't make sense to me. We have these play-in games, but we have 2 of them at the 10 seed, and we have 2 of them at a 16. Somebody's got to help it make sense to me. You got to help it make sense. The whole process makes no sense to me. Put your best, all your conference tournaments, your conference champions from the regular season in, and then let's find all these rankings, these metrics to get them in. A team that's won their conference should not have to play a play-in game. If the conference tournaments matter, a team that wins their conference tournament should not have to play a play-in game. Help it make sense to me. Your 8 teams that are playing play-in games should be your final 8 teams to get in the tournament. It's a shame to me there's people making big money, making big decisions that are absolutely stupid and void of common sense doing this. It infuriates me. It absolutely, NCAA college athletics infuriate me, the amount and level of stupidity that goes on with each sport. Yet so many people are roped into it because that's what they've grown up with. This NCAA tournament, it's great. It really is. But the people that put it together, they're a joke. They're an absolute joke. And I know it's not easy decisions, but if you come up with some kind of a metric or some kind of numbers that do it, it's an easy decision. Tennessee's got to be, if they should be in 1 seed on this. North Carolina did nothing spectacular this weekend. They won 2 games. Again, I guess you look back, Tennessee got their asses whipped on Friday, so they probably don't have a beef. But, at the same time, if you compare metrics with North Carolina, if it comes down to simply head-to-head, sure, North Carolina beat Tennessee. But rarely with NCAA does it come down to head-to-head. They don't understand the meaning of head-to-head a lot of times. We've seen it in football, we've seen it in basketball, we've seen it in baseball so many times. But, I'll break down this bracket more as the week goes along. I'm just going to kind of get it out here now. Yeah, I've got some ranting to do on it. I feel more sorry for Auburn on it, but also feel sorry for UConn because you may have just gotten somebody as a 4 seed in your bracket that you don't want a piece of. And this Auburn team is good. We saw it when Tennessee played them. That was 2 damn good basketball teams. And we know Bruce Pearl. Say what you want about him. He can coach, and he's going to have that team ready to roll. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're going to send UConn to the house. It's going to happen. You just wait and see on it. Right after this, I'm going to record baseball finale. A lot of thoughts on that. When I was a little animated last night, probably going to be a little animated again today on it. But I've got stuff. I'm on spring break this week. So spring practice for football starts this week. I'm going to break down a lot of stuff with football tomorrow. I want to come back with breaking down this NCAA tournament bracket as the week goes along. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming on this channel. So I hope you'll like it, share it out, and give me any constructive criticism you have as well. Anything you'd like to see, anything you'd like to see done better as well. But my name's Frank Rock. Happy St. Patrick's Day. This is the House of Orange Sports Channel. As always, go Vols.